Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. In this day of age of fast food and ultra-processed food, home cooking is truly vital. And in order for home cooking to have its maximum benefit, consistency and sustainability is critical. In this video, I demonstrate that I make a version of a fried rice known as Sequential fried rice. This is a good example to show how I can make home cooking fun and enjoyable, but at the same time, it is delicious. A fried rice is basically a common template. And by making variation to this template, you can create many different versions. One is to add shrimp. Another version that I have cooked in the past is to add a pork, which is frequently known as char siu or a Cantonese barbecue pork. And now I decided I'm going to combine both of them together. The best approach to home cooking is that to cook whatever that's available to you. In this case, I have some cauliflower. Now this is the stem of the cauliflower that usually I will throw them away. But since I have learned from my friend, I start to keep them and I will chop them up to add to the fried rice. As most people will agree, a good looking dish is always a good tasting dish. So appearance of a dish is important to me. And for making fried rice to enhance its appearance, the best way is to add something that is colorful. And a frozen vegetable mix is perfect for this purpose, but of course, it also adds great flavor to the fried rice as well. Each time when you consider the dish as a template, you're going to put yourself in a position that you're going to create many different versions. And there's no exception with fried rice. A fried rice template is a basic way how to cook a fried rice. Of course, you can make variation to the template, but substitution for the food ingredients is the most significant aspect for generate diversity. Now, this fried rice template is very simple and straightforward. However, I'm going to make some minor modifications to this template in how I'm going to incorporate eggs into this fried rice. And there are many different ways to add eggs to the fried rice. And of course, you can make fried rice without eggs as well. This dish is going to be a good example to demonstrate that I cook the fried rice as if I do not add any eggs to it, because I'm going to cook the egg first. And in this case, I'm going to scramble the egg. But there's something I'm doing differently with this particular fried rice is that I'm going to keep the egg in relatively large pieces. In the past, I will just cook the egg first and then I will add the rice to the egg. And during the stir-frying process, the egg will break into small portions. And in this case, the pieces are even too small for you to recognize them. For this dish, I'm going to introduce a variations. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to leave the egg in relatively large pieces because my wife really enjoys egg and she would like to be able to taste the egg distinctively. So in this case, by leaving the egg in large pieces, the best way for me to achieve this is that I'm going to separate the eggs and I'm going to set it aside. I add to the fried rice toward the end, and in this case, the size of the egg will retain and it will make it more distinctive. And the next step is for me to cook the rice. Now, of course, one of the most significant aspects in making a good fried rice is the nature of the rice. As the term fried rice represents, is the rice should be slightly fried. And the only way you can fry anything is that there is little or no moisture at all. Of course, rice always contains moisture, so it is important to dry out the rice as much as possible. And one of the easier ways to dry out the rice is to keep the rice in the refrigerator for at least 48 hours or longer. The longer you keep the rice in the refrigerator, the harder it is for you to break them apart. In this case, I use a really nifty kitchen tool which is known as hamburger meat smasher. It is perfect for breaking up rice, and normally it is used to break up hamburger meat, like in the case of making spaghetti sauce or chili. And next, I add the vegetables, which include the cauliflower that I chop up. I also add some red cabbage, and this is then followed by some frozen vegetable mix. At this point, I would like to mention about the heat management. When I first start making the fried rice, I keep the burner setting too low because at this point, as I am baking up the fried rice, the rice is sitting at the bottom of the wok. If I keep the heat setting too high, the fried rice is going to get burned. However, once I start stir frying everything, I set the heat back to high because as long as you keep the food ingredients being stirred, you can cook the food ingredients at high temperature without them getting burned because the food are constantly moving across the surface of the wok. Heat management in stir frying is extremely important because it is very easy to get food ingredients burned simply because you often cook at a high heat. Therefore, it is important to keep in mind that there are one basic rule. If the food is not moving, you should keep the burner setting low. However, if you are stir frying with the food moving across the surface of the wok constantly, like in this case when I am stir frying the fried rice, you can leave the burner setting at high. This will allow you to cook as quickly as possible. By this point, the cauliflower stem is to the texture that I like. So the next step is that I'm going to add the shrimp. The shrimp that I use is the Argentina red shrimp. It is a natural caught shrimp. It is a jumbo shrimp, but in order for it to fit well in the fried rice, I cut them up into small pieces. This allows me to cook the shrimp very rapidly. And this is the reason I add the shrimp almost toward the end of the cooking process because I know it will only take me about 30 to 45 seconds to cook the shrimp to the texture that I want. Now this is a good example which I frequently call it sequential stir frying. Is you can cook multiple ingredients in the wok at the same time. You can add them at different time points depending how long you want to cook them. If those ingredients require a long cooking time, such as the vegetables, I add them first. Whereas ingredients like the shrimp will only take about 40 to 50 seconds to cook it to the texture that I want. I will add it at a later time point. To season the dish, I'm going to use my Wok with Tak basic seasoning mix. This seasoning mix is designed to enhance the umami flavor of the dish. It contains most of the seasoning agents. It's rich in umami molecule. Now, I try to season this fried rice very lightly because this fried rice already have great natural flavor. Next, I add the egg to the fried rice. As you can see, the eggs are in relatively large chunks. And because in relationship to other ingredients in this dish, the egg will be very noticeable when you eat this fried rice. And for my wife, this is exactly how she likes it. The final ingredients I'm going to add is the char siu or the Cantonese barbecue pork. The barbecue pork has great flavor, and I want to retain this flavor. And the best way for me to do it is to add them toward the end. After the final taste test, I add some additional Wok with Tak basic seasoning mix. Now the dish is done. The total cook time is about 8 minutes. This dish provides a demonstration of different aspects of my fast cooking system, which stand for flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. I think the most notable feature I'd like to point out to you is that this is a template. And this is a demonstration of template-based cooking because the template for the fried rice is well familiar to me. And I have been using this template over and over again. And what I did in this particular dish is making substitutions of some of the ingredients. Now, picking the right ingredients for this dish requires a little bit of creativity. You need to think about what the outcome you want the dish to be. And so consequently, you can make arrangement how you cook this dish, how you add different ingredients. The egg is a good example, which I want the egg to achieve a certain type of culinary experience as my wife prefers. In a slightly different approach, I add directly to the rice in the template which I refer to as golden fried rice. In this case, the egg blends completely with the rice. This offers a very different culinary experience because the flavor of the egg is not noticeable as in comparison with this approach. The fried rice template is an extremely versatile template. It allows you to cook different food ingredients that you add to the fried rice with different type of approach. And when you use different timing, you can achieve very different culinary outcome. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. If you like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.